Hey, what's up guys? It's Drew for AJ Bros Productions. This week is our week that we're going to talk about science, so we're going to talk about the SpaceX sending up two rich guys to the moon, and then they're going to circle back to Earth. So what is happening is in February, Elon Musk, co-founder and CEO of SpaceX, announced that they would send two guys around the moon, and that the two men were funding the trip. This trip will likely happen sometime next year in 2018, more likely later 2018. And it would be the first time in almost 50 years that humans will have been this far from the Earth. And the first time ever that private citizens, not related to the government, will have been sent that far by a private company. Although these feats are impressive, I'm not going to go into the science of how they're sending them up and all the technical stuff of what is going to actually happen. I'm going to talk about how it's going to affect you. So, how will this affect you? First, I'm going to hit the most obvious one, is that you will be able to travel to space easier in terms of like vacations and spring breaks. So that means that kids could just, casually go up to the moon during spring break. The possibilities of this would mean that we might be able to make space colonies on the moon and Mars, we would have space vacations, and we would also get closer to having Martian travel, or traveling to Mars. What this means is that you could just as easily go to the moon, just travel to the moon, as easily as you can fly to Chicago to New York. As you would be going as a private citizen sent by a private company, you wouldn't have to go through the years of training that an astronaut sent by a nation would have to go through. And if you're wondering, why would it be cool to visit the moon? First of all, why wouldn't it be cool to visit the moon? And then, just think about it. You could visit the landing site of Apollo 11, and you could see like the flag in the ground, you could see the space lander, and maybe you could see if aliens are actually there, For you conspiracy theorists. You would also have beautiful views of Earth, and like the moon would also look amazing from space. On a more serious note of human space travel and space inhabitants, if Earth ever became uninhabitable, then it would be easier for us to escape Earth and live on other planets if we had the things already set up to be able to escape and live off-world. The human race would have a better chance of surviving if there was ever an apocalyptic event that we had to either escape Earth or dig deep tunnels and live in bunkers for centuries. Regardless what you believe, climate change is real, and it is a very real threat to the human race. Over the past 100 years, we've had a 2-degree temperature spike. That may not sound like a lot to you, but it's made oceans rise because the Arctic has started melting. And when oceans start rising, that means seaside cities will start getting infected with water, and then it will all just go to hell from there. We'll have many more natural disasters, and just from like a personal standpoint, where I live, we had nice weather, 60, 50-degree weather like a week ago, and today we have snow outside. What the heck is wrong with that? I mean, 50s to, I was running today and we had 12 degrees. It was, oh my gosh.
The ocean can only absorb so much heat and carbon dioxide, and that affects the atmospheric circulations caused by it's all interconnected, the thermohaline circulation, the atmospheric circulation, jet streams, wind belts, the Hadley cells. It's when you start messing with one part of the system, the entire system starts to crumble.
And if our own stupidity with our own climate doesn't kill us, you know what else will? Our stupidity with weapons. We're gonna kill each other. We're gonna kill each other more than likely with nuclear weapons before climate change can even kill us. So, if the nuclear apocalypse comes, I'd like to have a backup plan. That backup plan will be my spaceship. Now, the second thing that could be started by the space launch is the economic side of, the space industry. Right now, SpaceX and a few other companies like Virgin Galactic are setting up ways so that they can do space vacations and space exploration, and it will create a new industry that will not have been around until now. This could lead to jobs in space vacation and tourism that, as I mentioned before, would not have existed before now, because we simply wouldn't have that sort of thing before now. You're thinking, well, what about in the 60s when we went to the moon? That was one government agency, two government agencies working on that. The Russians and the Americans.
Russians never made it to space, though. Well, never made it to the moon, though.
Okay, that doesn't matter. And now, with these private companies making strides in space exploration, that might actually make a difference and create jobs. Along with being new jobs that we've never had before, they'd be high-paying and well-educated jobs that we would be in excess of because of space tourism. The second side of the space economy would be the space mining side. This would allow us to not pollute our own world by mining here, and then it would also be able to allow us to get precious metals that might be in rarity on Earth, and we might even discover new metals and other things that we didn't even know existed. Although I might have a little bias toward space and space exploration because I was raised in a family that loves Star Wars, Star Trek, and whenever we went to Washington, D.C., we went to the Space Museum there. I really do believe that there is a future for our world in space. Also, I believe that the United States and the world could come together because of space. Because whenever I think of times that the United States was together and connected and the most, it was during World War II and the space race. Because we were all coming together to beat a common goal, which was beating the Russians and making it to space. Also, if we can encourage these things, I believe that we can get our kids interested in engineering, technology, science, and math. Because it would all have to deal with math, science, and just the STEM things. Although space travel might have a direct influence on economy and leisure time, I think it could have a better far-reaching and indirect influence on education, government, and all sorts of things that would make our world a better place. Finally, to wrap up the video, I'm sorry I didn't get a video out last week. This is going to be that video, and I'm gonna edit it tonight, and I want to get another video out Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, so see you later, guys.